all see this. Bruce or Kichner, will you just let me know if anything is the matter, please? Or thank you. Okay, so welcome to this training session on access to the library resources from off-campus. It is something I assume that may be a problem to all of you. It's not always as easy to access the library resources from off-campus as it is on campus. My name is Naomi Visser. I'm the Manager Electronic Resources of the Library and Information Service. And then we also have Kichner van Deventer attending. He is the head of the Carnegie Research Commons, and support is provided by Bruce Lewis. Thank you, you two. Bruce, you may start recording, please. I just want to remind you that, as I've said, the session is being recorded and will be sent to you afterwards. I'd also like to ask that you please mute your mic and that you enable your chat for questions. So if you have any questions or suggestions or comments during the presentation, please do that in the chat box, and one of my colleagues will respond to that. Okay, in this session we will cover the following points. First of all, important points to remember when accessing library e-resources from off-campus, and then I will elaborate a bit on how to access the A to Z list of databases, the list of e-journals, e-reference works, our subject guides, and then also Prumo and how to limit specifically to electronic resources. I will also pay attention to off-campus access via Google Scholar, off-campus electronic access for specific user groups, some more library guides that may be of help, and then also some attention to the physical library. Even though you may be off-campus, you may at some stage need the physical library, and I will say something about that as well. Okay, so as far as the important points that you need to remember if you wish to access the library's resources, and this is not only on off-campus but also on campus, you need to know that the library subscribes to many electronic resources by many different publishers. And we pay huge amounts each year to make it possible for our students and staff to access these resources. And of course, the providers of these resources want to be sure that only legitimate users of their content are allowed access. So we have to have certain measures in place to make sure that these resources are not illegally used. So if you are on campus, you are recognized by your IP address. We provide all our IP addresses to the publishers or the providers of the resources. And so if you come from a computer on campus, your IP address is recognized and you are immediately allowed access to the resource. However, if you're not on campus, we need a different way to that, and that is why you have to go via the library homepage and follow a certain procedure so that you can be authenticated via the university single sign-on screen. So yeah, you will not, if you go directly to Science Direct, for example, you won't necessarily be recognized, so you have to follow the specific route. When you're working, you open your browser, you authenticate yourself once for a specific resource, you won't have to do it again during that browser session. But as soon as you close your browser and you reopen it later in the day or the next day, you will have to go through the same process again. And this is the page that you will see. I'm sure many of you have seen it. This is the what we call the university single sign-on page. And here you must use your standard user credentials. It's also referred to as the network or portal login. And it's the same username and password that you would use to access SunLearn or your email or whatever. So you will be familiar with that username and password. Please remember that you are required to change your password every 90 days. You can go to that email or web address there, sun.ac.za/useradm, and change it there. You will be reminded by email, but many postgraduate students, especially, I think, don't necessarily use the @sun email addresses, so they may miss that email reminding them to change their password. So maybe then, if this is the case with you, just make a note for yourselves to change your password every 90 days. And then another point is that your username will only be valid until the end of March each year. So you will have to reactivate your username prior to the cutoff date to prevent your access from expiring. So keep that in mind every year when you come back to campus or start the new academic year. Then you will just have to reactivate at the same URL, sun.ac.za/useradm. Okay, as I've said, it's the best is to always go through the library website if you want to find resources. The address library.sun.ac.za, and here on our home page, you will find a link at the top there that says Find. And if you click on it, there's a drop-down menu where you can use to go to ebooks, to e-databases, to e-journals, e-reference works, etc. So that is one way of going to the resources. So I'm just going to show on the PowerPoint here, and then at the end of each session, I will go live and go and demonstrate on the library website. Okay, if you have selected electronic databases, then you will get a list, an alphabetical list of all the databases that are available. You can scroll through the alphabetical list, or you can search for a specific e-database by keyword. Yeah, and please note that some databases have additional requirements. They are indicated in the middle of in this middle column. And then we have some icons at the right here that are links to training guides if they are available. Not all the databases have these, but where available, it's indicated by this icon. Good, and then I also want to remind you that some databases have additional or different requirements. I say there during lockdown, it's not was not only during hard lockdown, but even now it can be that a database requires you to contact the publisher directly, but that information will be in that middle column. There are some databases such as Elsevier, ScienceDirect, Scopus and Novel that allow you to activate remote access via your own personal profile within the database. So this means that you can create your own Elsevier account. You can do this with, for example, in ScienceDirect, but then you can use the same account for Scopus and Novel and Engineering Village. And that will allow you to access these databases directly. So you can go to ScienceDirect, log in with your account as long as you have used your Sun address, your Sun email address to create that account. You will be recognized as from Stellenbosch, and that way you can access ScienceDirect, Scopus, and all the other Elsevier databases. Okay, I just need to go out here because I want to demonstrate live now the databases. Bruce, can you still see my screen?
Yes, Naomi, I can still see your screen.
Okay, is it clear enough? Or should I enlarge it a bit?
You can enlarge it a bit, but it's clear from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the library website, library.sun.ac.za. As mentioned, you can go to find, have the drop-down menu. Yes?
I think you're sharing your PowerPoint, but not your desktop.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
So you can just stop sharing your screen.
Okay, and then
you'll see that the share option right to the left, you can share your whole screen, the desktop. So, and that's usually the best one to choose.
Sorry, say again.
When you click on the share content button again,
yes,
you'll see there will be a screen option to the left.
Yes.
Desktop, and you can just select that one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so do you now see my desktop?
Yes.
Okay.
Much better, yes.
Okay, thank you. So as mentioned, you can go to find ebooks, e-databases, etc. But also, I also want to show you here on the right-hand side, just above library guides, you have two quick links. The one goes to databases and the other one there to e-journals A to Z list. So I'm going to click quickly on databases A to Z list. This is what I showed you just now. Important here to remember the terms and conditions of use. In terms of the license agreements governing these electronic resources, the content may be used for scholarly, non-commercial purposes only by authorized staff and students of Stellenbosch University. The systematic downloading, distribution, printing, or retention of substantial portions of content is strictly prohibited. So that is just important to know, these terms and conditions. Okay, as mentioned, you can search for an item. If you know you're looking for EBSCOhost, for example, you can type your keyword terms here and search in that way, especially if it's something, for example, that starts with a W and you don't want to scroll through the whole list, or otherwise you can just scroll down, click for A, for example, or go down to E. This is what we're going to do now. Under E, we have a list of different databases. For example, here you can see easy data with information about logging into that specific database in the middle. But I want to demonstrate EBSCOhost research databases. EBSCOhost is a platform with a number of different databases that can be used for different subject fields. For example, art and architecture, religion, business, etc. So you can select just one of them, or you can keep them all selected and you can click continue, and you will do a search across all those databases. So I'm just going to demonstrate a search. You will type in your keywords. This is just a broad general search to show you just how EBSCO works. But there are other training sessions on our training calendar that can help you with more detailed training, searching options and training on that. If you need help with how to find and search for articles. Okay, so this is the list of the results. We have 30,000 articles on our topic, extreme weather. Just note that on the left-hand side here, you have the possibility to limit your results. If you want full text only, you want only scholarly articles, that is one way that you can do it, to make sure that you get academic stuff only, and you can limit the time of your publications. If you only want those for the most recent 10 years, you can indicate it there. And you have a much smaller list, although still 7,000. But anyway, I just want to show you this is how you can find an article. And then you can click here on check for full text. It will take you to our library catalog, and from there provide a link to the full text article. Okay, in some cases it will just bypass the library and go directly to your article. So this is now from the database EBSCOhost. You have linked to to the publisher itself, where you can find the full text article. In this case, a German article. But from here, you can then download and read your article. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show about how to find databases. I just remembered, you probably thought, so okay, when was I asked to authenticate myself? And I just have to mention that I am on campus, so I was not asked to authenticate myself because I'm my IP address is recognized, so that was why I did not get the single sign-on screen. But if you're at home or working from elsewhere, as soon as you click on either the name of the database or the name of the first journal that you go to, you will get that screen that asks for you to ask you to sign on. Okay, so that is as far as databases is concerned. I'm just going to quickly jump back to my PowerPoint. The next topic is how to find electronic journals. Now, it often happens that someone gives you a reference to a journal in an article in a specific journal. And you can go and Google that article, and if you're lucky, you will get full text access to the article. But often that is not possible, and you can only get access from the library because we subscribe to a journal. And the best way then would be to go to e-journals via the website. Use the search box to type in the title of your journal. In this case, Development Southern Africa. And then select from a list that you will, a result list that you get, you will select the platform that covers the year you need. Note that some platforms have an embargo on the most recent months of publication. The first 2 years, for example, Academic Search Premier and Business Source Premier, they both provide access to this journal from 1998 onwards. They say until present, but note then that there's a full text delay of 18 months. So the most recent 18 months will not be available as full text. You will only get the reference to the articles, but not the full text. But then we have 2 other options, and the last one, Taylor and Francis, provides access from 97 to present. So that would be your option if you were looking for an article in the last 18 months. Please also note the start date. The most recent year that we have here is 97. If you are looking for an article published before that, you will have to request our interlibrary loans to get it for you. Or in some cases, we may still have the printed journal, the printed version of that journal. So just ask the library, your faculty librarian, to see whether we maybe have access to the printed journal in the library, and you can make a photocopy of that article. But if you're looking for something in those years, 1997 to present, you would just type on the title of the journal and it will take you to that journal. Okay, but let me just show you. As mentioned, I'm back on the library website. We go to e-journals. So this is just a demonstration of what I just said. Development Southern Africa. And there's the list of links to this journal. I would click on Taylor and Francis Core Custom Collection. And now in the journal, you can scroll through all the different years, go to specific issues, or if you're looking for a specific topic within this journal, you can do a search. Say, for example, you're looking for something on tourism and hospitality. You can search this journal. Okay, just make sure that you don't make a spelling mistake. Hospitality. There you go. So now you have 76 articles on your topic. You can scroll down, click on the title to open the article. But let me just go, yeah. No, forget about it. Let me show you the article. So you would click on the title, and there you have the full text to the article. And you can download a PDF, whatever you want to do with this. This all is possible because at the start of your search, you have indicated that you are from Stellenbosch University and you now have access to the full text articles. Bruce, everyone still okay? Or are there any questions?
No, there's no questions at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Okay, back on the PowerPoint. Our next topic is the electronic reference works that we have available to our users. We have a number of dictionaries and encyclopedias that can be very helpful in your research or your everyday life. And especially when it comes to the dictionaries, it is quite useful to open them and maybe bookmark them on your desktop, and it's easy to just do a quick search in the dictionary. You don't have to find one on your shelf or whatever. So also under Find, we go to e-reference works, and there is a list of different subject areas where you can find reference works in journalism, engineering, business management, etc. We also have some general encyclopedias. This is often useful if you just want a quick introduction to a topic. Then it's very useful to use it. For example, the Encyclopedia Britannica, a very well-known and renowned encyclopedia. So there they are, the general encyclopedias. But then also, as mentioned, the language dictionaries. There's the Othervier, as for the Afrikaans people, that's very useful. We have the Oxford English Dictionary, and we have Woordeboek van die Afrikaanse taal. So you can see quite useful, these dictionaries. I just want to show you Faro's Woordeboeke, or Faro's dictionaries. My interface is in Afrikaans, but it's possible for you to just click on English at the top of the page there to change your interface to English. And I just want to show you that this Faro's dictionaries include 78 different dictionaries. So if you click on change there, you can see the list. There are bilingual dictionaries, different English dictionaries, thesaurus, synonym dictionaries, many of them in Afrikaans, but many of them also bilingual. And then you have multilingual dictionaries. We have English, Afrikaans, Zulu, and Xhosa. We have Northern Sotho, Afrikaans, Xhosa, biology dictionaries, botanical dictionaries. So quite a number of different, there's the Dictionary of Economics and Business. So if you need help with writing your thesis or assignments, it might just be helpful to come and have a look at the dictionaries that we have available here. So you can search across all 78, or you can deselect the list and just go to one of them if that's what you need. Okay, so that is Faro's dictionaries. I'm just going to close that. Yeah, so that is all I wanted to say about e-reference works. Back to my PowerPoint. Now I'd like to show you how you can use Primo, or then the library catalog, to search for references, to find information. and how to limit those results to electronic results only, so that you only get something that you can actually access from where you are, and that you don't have to come into the library to use. Now the what we call Primo, or the library catalog, you can also, some people refer to it as the library search engine. This allows you to search across almost all the databases and the electronic journals that we subscribe to. So you can do one search and get results for books and journal articles, conference proceedings, in print and electronic. So that is a good way also then to start your research, to do a broad general search in the library catalog. So you can start on the home screen of the library. There's a search box there towards the top. Type in your keywords, click on search, and get your result lists. And then to make sure that you get electronic results only, you will see on the left-hand side you have these different filter options. So you can just click on full text only, and then click on apply filters, and it will limit your results to E only, and you will see each of the results, whether it's a book or a journal article, it will have a link that says either online access or full text available. You can click on that and it will take you to the full text. You can also click on the title to expand the record so that you can see more information about the book or the journal and more access options. Okay, just to confirm that you will get a next screen where you can click on view full text. All right, let's demonstrate that. Okay, so I will type in our keyword, ethical leadership. You can see I have 324,000 results, and this includes books and articles, and you will see the top one, it says available at Bellville Park Campus Library. So this is a printed book and it sits in Bellville. If you are in Bloemfontein, that will not be what you want immediately. So the best will be for you to go to the left-hand side. You can select the publication type. If you only want journal articles or you only want books or conference proceedings, you can limit here. You can say that you want peer-reviewed journals only. In many cases for students, they are required to only use peer-reviewed journals for their research, so you can limit to that option. But what we're doing now, we want to go to full text online. And now you see we have all our results, say view full text. So everything is available electronically. I'm going to scroll down to show you two books. I'm just going to, limit by books also and apply filters. As an example, I'm going to show you ethical business leadership in troubling times. I'm clicking on the title. And please note that some of our electronic books have specific limits. It depends on the license agreement that we have with the publisher. And it tells you here that we have this book. You can link to the internet, but only one user at a time. So it may happen that you open that link and that you are not allowed access. Then please keep in mind that someone else is probably busy, and then just try again at a later stage. So I'm going to click on view full text, and we will now be taken. You will recognize the interface of the page. This is on EBSCOhost, the database that we visited earlier. They have electronic books also on their database. So here we get, have access to this title, Ethical Business Leadership in Troubling Times. You can scroll down to the table of contents, open a specific chapter that you're interested in. And there you have the full chapter in front of you. Please remember that with some of the publishers, there are also limits as far as the number of pages that you can print or save. As soon as you click on print pages here, for example, it will tell you that you may only print 30 pages. This is due to copyright. And it's actually the same with a printed book. You are not allowed to make copies of more than a certain number of pages from the book. You can, but you're not really allowed to do that. So, okay, so you will just have to, with many of these electronic book pages, you will have to sign in, create your own personal account for this database. So this is on EBSCOhost, so you need an account for EBSCOhost. If you go to ebook library, that's another one. You will have to create an account there, and that is separate from your university account and your university credentials. This is something that you will use specifically for this ebook platform, so that you can copy pages, you can print pages, you can make notes in the books, etc., highlight whatever, add it to a bookshelf. But that is something that you can read about on our ebook LibGuide, and I will show that to you just now. So this is the one example of a book that we have available electronically. The other one that I wanted to show you is just this one, Organizational Change, Leadership and Ethics. Once again, click on the title, and you will see this one tells you we have this available in full text with a maximum of 3 simultaneous users. So at least you know that if you open that book, you can share it with 2 others before the next person will be stopped from using. I see there's a mistake on this page, and this often happens, unfortunately. You will remember that the first book I showed you, when you click on the link, it took you directly to that title. Unfortunately, this one takes me to the platform, but not to the specific book. If that happens, you can just go back, make sure what is the title of your book. We can copy it from here. Go back to your platform, put in the title and search for it. And there you will find your title, the top one, Organizational Change, Leadership and Ethics. And please note that different platforms look differently and have different requirements and ways of doing things. So you just have to keep that in mind and just look around on the page that you have in front of you to see what is available, what you can do and what not. This one again tells you we have 3 copies of this book. You can download the book, or you can have so many pages to copy or so many pages to print or download. Okay, so you can read it online, or you can download the book for a few days. But remember that then in those few days, the book is not available for anyone else to use. And once again, if you want to do that, you have to go to sign in and create an account for yourself specifically for eBook Central, so that you can use the different features of this platform. Righto, so that is the library catalog and how to search there. I've limited my search to books only, but you can take that away and then also find journal articles the same way as I looked for books. Okay, so that is the library catalog. Next, I want to show you on our library website where you can find help. If you're not sure which databases to use, or if you have any questions regarding library resources, your best option is the library guides that we have on our website in the big start here. So you can just go to library guides, click on that link. And here you have an alphabetical list of all the different departments, African languages, agronomy, ancient studies, whatever. So for every department or faculty, you will have a subject guide. Let's go to animal science. There you will find a picture of your faculty librarian, email address, telephone number. So if you need help in any regard with agri-sciences, you can just email Elizabeth Moore-Willard, or you can go through the library guide and see what is available here. Searching tips, books in agri-sciences, finding articles and databases, all kinds of useful information you will find on the library guide, or LIB guide as we call them. So yes, you can just scroll through, or you can use the search box at the top to find your specific faculty librarian and the LIB guide. You will find subject and information resources. You will find links to those resources from the LIB guides. And the wonderful thing about these guides and the faculty librarians is that they are available even when the library is closed. They're available online, so please contact them if you need any help from the library side. Okay, I'm just back to the PowerPoint. Many of you, if not most, probably prefer Google Scholar for your research. And that's a good thing. if you use Google Scholar specifically and not just Google. And the good news is that it is possible to tell Google Scholar that you are affiliated with Stellenbosch University. And if you do this, you will get this link. If you do a search and get a list of results, on the right-hand side, you will then get a link that says full text at Stellenbosch, and it will take you directly to that article. Purely because you are affiliated with Stellenbosch University and we subscribe to that specific journal. And I will just show you how you need to go about to activate this feature. So in Google Scholar, and for those of you who don't know, the address is scholar.google.com. You will go to the hamburger menu, and from there you go to settings. On the left-hand side, there's a link to library links. Click on library links and then search for Stellenbosch. And this option will come up, Stellenbosch University, full text at Stellenbosch. Make sure that you mark that and click on save. And then if you continue using Google Scholar and there are journal articles in your result list that we have access to, you will get that link and you can go directly to the article. Okay, I've mentioned the licensing agreements that we have with our suppliers and how important it is that access to the resources is restricted to registered students and staff of Stellenbosch University only. But I know that there's often problems, students have problems with registration and how to get that username and password, especially with prospective postgraduate students. If you are planning on doing your PhD and you need to do research, but you have not registered as a full-time student yet, it can be difficult, but there is a way, and we provide information on our website. Let's just go there. There is a page here, off-campus electronic access, with the application process for the different sections for undergraduate and postgraduate students, and then specifically for prospective postgraduate students, also for staff and external workers, etc. Specific processes that you need to follow if you need a username and password and you didn't get it automatically when you registered as a student, then you can come here to find that information. So it is on the library website under help. You just scroll on the drop-down menu under off-campus electronic access. You will find this information. Right, and now I just want to go back. We were at the library guides just now. I just want to draw your attention to one or two more useful library guides. I'm going to scroll down. There is one for off-campus access for Stellenbosch registered users specifically, with useful extra information that we did not cover here. If you have password problems, if you forgot about what I said about Google Scholar, you will find that information here. And then also web browser preferences and how to the cookies and cache and how to clean your cache. Because please keep in mind that this is often a problem, that something goes wrong on a publisher's website. You don't get access to a journal, or there's just some kind of problem. And very often, and this is also the first thing that these vendors ask us if we report a problem to them. They would ask, have you cleaned your cache and cookies? And then often, once you did that, just follow the instructions here for all the different browsers, clean your cache, and that will help you often to solve the problem and provide you access to the whatever you were looking for. Okay, so that is the library guide for off-campus access. But another one that I want to tell you about is the library guide for e-books. We've touched on electronic books, but on this library guide you will find a lot of information. There's a specific section on downloading and printing e-books at Stellenbosch, so that is important to know. But also helpful is this section on free e-books. There's a whole list of books that is available open access. On the left here, specifically academic books by the Directory of Open Access Books, Flatworld, Open Textbook Library, a whole list of platforms where you can go and find electronic books that are available free and with no limits on using them. So this is the library guide on e-books. Okay, let's just scroll through the PowerPoint again, and then I want to conclude with this section on the access to library buildings. Please keep in mind that at the moment, if you need to come to the library, access is by appointment only. We're still in a form of lockdown, and there are still certain limits on the use of the library. And to find detailed information about this, you can go to our library website, to the specific page. We have a booking system whereby you can book a certain time to come and pick up a book that you need. You can return books by just putting them in the book box on the outside of the main library. We have scanning services, interlibrary loans. So I'm just going to go to the website, to the specific page, where you can find detailed information and links to request a book pickup service. There's a link to book a visit to the library, to book a seat or a computer to use in the library for a certain time period. So all the services, if you need to visit one of the branch libraries, we have their telephone numbers and email addresses up here. How to renew print materials. Scanning services that are available, especially for people far away. If you cannot, you cannot come to the library, so you can use the Ask a Librarian service to scan something from a printed book or journal for you and to email it to you. You can request interlibrary loans. But this is at the moment only possible for articles from journals and for chapters from books, not for printed books. You can fill in the online request form. We will find a journal article that we don't have access from another library, and it will be emailed to you. Once again, your faculty librarians are available to help you. And if you can't get to your faculty librarian, there is a link to the Ask a Librarian on the library website. I'm just going to show that to you. If you're not aware, in the middle here, Ask a Librarian. If you need an answer and you don't want to call, you can just click on this box, fill in your question, and someone will respond to you electronically. Okay, that is my story. Do we have any questions?
You can also unmute if you want to ask a question via your microphone.
Okay, there doesn't seem to be any questions. Bruce, you will, if I remember correctly, you will send the presentation and the recording to all our attendees afterwards.
That's correct, Naomi. I will do that, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you all for attending. I hope you learned something, and please make use of the library and let us know if we can help you with anything. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Naomi. We appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you.